Is America First failing because it forgot who the real enemy is? Welcome back to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. I'm Peter Boykin, and today we are stepping straight into the fire, not to fan the flames, but to expose the real arsonist. The America First movement was built to defend our constitutional republic, yet somewhere along the way the fight turned inward. Patriots started treating each other like the enemy, while the actual forces tearing this country apart watched and smiled. So before we dive into the chaos, the drama, and the misplaced fury, let's take a deep breath and look at the real question facing this movement. Is America First failing because it forgot who the real enemy is?
One nation, one vision, we forgot the enemy, but we rise from the sorrow, stronger than ever. We remember tomorrow, stronger than ever. We remember tomorrow. The enemy was never each other. It was a machine watching us fight. The movement survives when unity returns. The republic survives when we remember who the enemy really is.
Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right. Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. This is my commentary. Let us take a moment and breathe, because what I am about to say is not meant to insult anyone. It is meant to wake people up. Inside this movement, inside this family that calls itself America First, something has gone wrong. We have reached a place where people who claim the same mission spend more time swinging at each other than standing together against the forces that want our constitutional republic destroyed. And I'm not talking about petty disagreements or natural debates. That is healthy. That is what citizens are supposed to do in a free nation. I'm talking about the level of hostility where people are ready to call a fellow patriot a traitor because they dare to think differently for 5 minutes. Everyone in this movement, from Donald Trump to Marjorie Taylor Greene to Laura Loomer to the nameless keyboard warrior hiding behind an eagle avatar, needs to ask a simple question. Who benefits from us fighting each other while our republic crumbles around us? Who benefits when America First sets itself on fire? And who benefits when the people who claim to be the fighters for this nation are too busy playing purity police to notice that the other side is doing? Now, scratch the record needle for a moment there before I continue. I just want to let you know I have a lot of people who will read or maybe skim over my videos or what I post online, and they call me names like liberal or rhino. And I've had to let people know, you need to actually know who I am. You don't know who I am. Google me who I am. You don't understand the struggles I've gone through, the money I've lost, the job and career I've done, and the disrespect that I've gotten not only from the left, which I expect, but the disrespect that I get from the right. And yes, I would fall into the trap where I wanted to argue and infight, but I really don't want to do that. So I just let people know what's up. I try to move along, and I try to continue my message, like I'm going to do right now. Look at the Epstein files. They should have been handled with unity and transparency. This should have been the one issue every conservative could rally behind. Every parent, every survivor, every citizen who believes that crimes against children are the ultimate evil. The files should have been a moment of strength. Instead, they became a loyalty test, a measuring stick of who was pure enough, a purity contest wrapped in drama and ego, and it turned into who was loyal to Trump and who was loyal to Green, who was loyal to the movement, who was loyal to the online crowd, and somewhere in the middle, all of that noise, the truth got lost. That's not how a constitutional republic protects itself. That is not how a moral movement behaves. That is not how justice is supposed to work. The real threat to this republic is not the conservative down the timeline with a slightly different opinion. Hello, the problem is me. I mean, not really, but the real threat is the machine that feeds on division. The real threat is the system that learned how to weaponize our own passion and turn it inward until we are fighting each other instead of fighting corruption. The real threat is the network of bureaucracies, billionaires, intelligence contractors, political operatives, foreign interests, and media manipulators who want Americans exhausted and distracted. They know that if the people are fighting each other, they are not watching the shadows where the real deals are happening. This is what the elite class counts on. They count on conservatives calling each other rhinos or liberals or whatever nasty names they want to say. They count on Maga calling America first a separate religion. They count on influencers declaring themselves the prophets of truth while attacking everyone else who gains a sliver of attention. I know this. I have been blacklisted apparently from organizations I shouldn't have been blacklisted on because I might take away some of their, funding, or I might take away some of their glory, which only hurts us. It only hurts us. They count on the Trump world getting into personal feuds. They count on Green and Loomer tearing each other apart. They count on activists choosing sides like they're picking teams on middle school dodgeball. And while we waste time on this, the other side advances. The other side organizes. The other side builds. The other side floods cities with policy, pressure, influence, and manipulation. And socialists take positions of power. Foreign influence grows in our largest cities. Censorship expands without consequences. Veterans who fought for this nation are deported while our borders remain wide open. Trafficking networks continue, and bureaucracies break the Constitution in silence. And the only thing our side can talk about is who said what to whom on social media. This is the trap. This is the distraction. And this is the division that kills a movement from the inside. People say they love Trump. People say they love the Constitution. People say they love this republic. But then they treat their fellow conservatives like enemies because of one disagreement. If that is what it all takes to divide us, then this movement is not as strong as it claims to be. Real strength is not blind loyalty. Real strength is standing for principles even when the crowd does not like it. Real strength is telling Donald Trump when he is wrong about walking away without walking away from it. Real strength is telling our own side to stop acting like the real enemy is in our mirrors. Real strength is remembering what this fight is actually for. The fight is for freedom, justice, transparency, border security, national unity, and a government that respects the people. Remember, we the people, folks? Not internet clout, not influencer drama, not petty battles, not petty ego battles, not purity tests written by people who have never written a law, or passed a bill, or served in uniform, or built anything beyond a following. If America First wants to survive, if the movement wants to win, if the republic itself is to be saved, then we must regain clarity. We must decide whether we want victories for this nation or victories for our own personal pride. Because the real enemy is not inside our house. The real enemy is outside the house trying to burn it down while we argue over the color of the curtains. This is the moment for courage. This is the moment for discipline. This is the moment for unity built on principle, not celebrity. A movement that cannot control its own divisions cannot lead a nation. I mean, Lincoln said, nation divided cannot lead, right? A movement that forgets who the real enemy is will hand the country away without a single shot fired. And if we let that happen, history will not blame the left. History will blame us. It is time to refocus. It is time to stop fighting each other. It is time to protect this constitutional republic before we lose it in a fit of self-destruction. And it starts with remembering who the real enemy is. And as always, it's time to hashtag go right.